Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications.
When a man barged into Isaiah Kinlock's apartment and broke a bottle over his head, a North Charleston resident called 911. After cops arrived on that day in 2015, they searched the injured man's home and found an ounce of marijuana. So they took $1,800 in cash from his apartment and kept it. This is one of the many stories in an important investigation by the Greenville News in Greenville, South Carolina, of a practice known as civil asset forfeiture. A civil asset forfeiture is when the cops seize money or goods if they merely suspect drugs are involved. No shock that the reporters found African Americans suffer from this practice more than any other group. Here's what the article discovered. Black men pay the price for this program. They represent 13% of the state's population, yet 65% of all citizens targeted for civil forfeiture in the state are black males. If you are white, you are twice as likely to get your money back than if you're black. Nearly 1/5 of people who had their assets seized weren't charged with a related crime. Roughly the same number, nearly 800 people, were charged with a crime but not convicted. That means around 40% of the people whose cash or possessions were seized were not convicted of a crime. One of the reporters who broke this story is Mike Ellis, investigative reporter for the Greenville News. Mike joins us right now. Mike, I got to tell you, we've seen this story all across the country. We've seen other examples of civil asset forfeiture. You even have folks like the Koch brothers who are against this. Libertarians are against this. But to see this there in Greenville, was it shocking to you and editors when you saw the real numbers?
Hi, I think I might have cut off there a little bit. All right, thank you.
Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go right ahead. So was it shocking to you to see those numbers and how black men were mostly impacted by civil asset forfeiture?
I think when we talked to a lot of experts, we talked to a lot of people about this, common response was shocked but not shocked. What we had found has been discussed a lot before. This isn't coming out of left field, but what we were able to do is go through an entire state, 3 years worth of data. There's been a lot of excellent reporting on civil forfeiture. A lot of it is focused on the federal side or on regional sides, such as in Philadelphia. But nobody, as far as we've been able to tell, as far as experts have told us, has looked at state-by-state data. So I think go back to the surprised but not surprised. Having this data in front of us helps us to tell you exactly what we found in South Carolina, which was, as you said, black men are bearing the brunt of this civil forfeiture in the state to a significant degree.
So, Mike, are state legislators saying anything? Are they saying, let's look at the laws to protect citizens as opposed to police departments in a sense like happened in other places around the country where they literally would have a laundry list of items they wanted and they eventually got it through civil asset forfeiture?
Yeah, we've actually heard some great results from legislators. A lot of them have previously tried and failed to get anything passed. But this year, we're headed down on Wednesday to our state capitol. A group of bipartisan legislators are introducing a bill that would make South Carolina, in their words, the gold standard of civil forfeitures. In many ways, it would model after New Mexico's laws, which would require a conviction. In South Carolina and many other states right now, police can take items on the side of the road for suspicion of a crime. It doesn't have to be a conviction. One of our important findings was about 1 in 5 civil forfeiture cases in our state and are associated with no criminal charges whatsoever. Another almost 1 in 5 have no convictions whatsoever. So that's an awful lot of cases that are not gone through the judicial system, and the police are still able to seize and keep the property in most of these cases.
All right, Mike, we surely appreciate it, man, your reporting. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to go to my panel here. I'm going to start with you, Eugene. This is an issue that we have seen Democrats and Republicans and Libertarians on the same side. And what's also amazing, though, is that, you have many folks who support law enforcement. They got no problem with cops doing civil asset forfeiture. I remember when Donald Trump met with these group of sheriffs, they said, oh, we need this. And you're going, wait a minute, you're taking the property, you're taking money, cars, other items of people, many who never, ever even get charged. That is grotesque in this country.
Yeah, it's crazy. So actually, civil asset forfeiture in Maryland, 2 years ago, the Maryland General Assembly actually passed a bill that Governor Hogan signed, curbing civil asset forfeiture. Had the support of Freedom Works, had the support of groups on the left, and I believe now that Maryland, you have to have a conviction to have your assets seized. But for a lot of departments around the country, it helps them pad their budgets. It helps them get things that they ordinarily wouldn't have. I mean, there's like one infamous case where they had seized a margarita mixer and threw it in their break room. And a department, I forget where it was, but it's been a plague on communities of color, many poor communities. They have your money stolen, have your money taken, have your car impounded, all on suspension and never being charged with a crime.
Michael?
It's exactly right, and clearly it's all stereotypical because the reason that these forfeitures occur is because there's an assumption that the money or the products gained by the money is drug money or somehow solicited in some bad way. So if you're a person of color and you have $1,800 in your apartment in cash, or you have a nice car, they're going to take that and seize it, and they're assuming that once you get to court and once you get to trial, that you're going to get convicted for some kind of drug offense, and they'll be able to keep the money and now justify them taking it. And that's what's so a shame about what's going on today in America.
Avis, this is how poor people are essentially ripped off by police departments and targeted for their resources.
Absolutely. I don't even call it asset seizure. I call it theft, because that's exactly what this is. And I don't even give them as much, sort of leeway as Michael is so kindly giving them. I think they target people and they steal from people because they can. And I also know that oftentimes in poor communities, those communities don't even have financial institutions in those communities. There's a large number of folks who are unbanked in this country. So they don't have any place where they go and have a checking account where they can keep their money. They keep their money in cash. And so the reason why they are targeted in this way is because these people are taking cash. They're also taking other sort of products, things that they purchase, cars and other things, even the margarita mixer, because they can. That's what this is. They are pilfering a community because they know they can get away with it.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Was calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders. Enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement their proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Go to FGB.Life. That's FGB.Life for more information and to apply. Ford goes further in our communities.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.